Hey there, Steve Gamache with another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review. And what we have today is the Tojiro VG-1 Santoku 170mm knife. So this line of knives is a high value line, and the way it's constructed is 3 layers. So there's a center hard cutting edge steel down the middle, and that is the VG-1 full stainless steel. And then there's soft stainless cladding on either side of that hard core steel. And heat treat, they don't give an exact number, but typically probably around 59, possibly 60. The weight and dimensions should be pretty similar from knife to knife. The handles could make that vary just a little bit, but the particular specifics on this knife are 136 grams, 4.8 ounces in weight. The edge cutting edge length is right about 170 on the nose, or 6.7 inches. Overall length, you can see about 308 millimeters of the whole knife. Spine thickness, these are fairly thin knives. I got about 2.6 millimeters at the spine at the back, and then I got about 2.3. There's not a ton of taper here on the thickness, what we call distal taper. Come on, camera. There we go. So there's not a ton of taper there. You can see it thins out a little bit when you get to the tip. It's not a super skinny tip, but it does a pretty decent job getting through things. The edge is not super skinny either, but so this knife will be quite a bit forgiving on usage, and with a little bit of more meat at the tip and a little bit more meat at the edge. Blade height is about 48.8, so it's pretty tall blade, and the handle is an oval ambidextrous, what they call chestnut, which is a stained wood, and it's got a plastic or resin collar that fits over the top. There's a little bit of a step there, but they've kind of smoothed it into it a little bit where the plastic is, so it feels pretty good. You probably want to put some sealer where that tang goes into the handle, just to keep moisture out of there. The got a little bit of residual oil on here, might get my fingerprints on there. The circumference of the handles, just under 3 inches, so kind of a standard size. Balance point, it's a pretty light handle, so the balance point is going to be right about there, which is not too far off a pinch grip. So, in fact, for me, that's pretty doggone close to my pinch grip location. So we get a nice, nimble, neutral balance feel when you're using a pinch grip style, handle of the knife. The, I guess before we get into some of that, we'll do our beauty shot here. These have pretty decent fit and finish on them. You've got kind of a machine finish on them, but you've got screened on kanji and nomenclature there. It's kind of a faux sandblasted finish there for a faux line, and then core cutting edge steel. So pretty simple look to them, but they've got a little bit of relief at the corners of the spine. They've got some relief on the corners here on the choil that goes back into the neck. So, it's fit and finish is pretty good on these. Out of the box edge, I'll give it a 6. It's had a pretty decent edge on it out of the box. It's a fairly stiff blade as well, being a little taller, and fairly curvy profile. Let's take a look at, see, I'm trying to remember, I think we covered everything there. Let's take a look at the cutting board. So here's what it looks like on the cutting board. It's fairly curvy. Not a lot of flat spot there, but you can see what it looks like. So pretty much just a kind of a general tip flat. I can get fairly high on a rock here before I start digging that tip in, so pretty nice on that. So this will rock really good. It's not going to be a chopper so much, but push-pull cuts, glide cuts, those kind of things will work really well. So this is a nice line of knives, and it's easy to take care of. The steel's forgiving. It's got a little bit of meat, as I said, behind the edge and the tip at a slight trade-off on performance, but it's a good first step for a lot of people. Might be a great entry into the wa, the Japanese handled style knife, and a little trade-off on the balance that from the Western style. So really cool offering. So this is the Tojiro VG-1 Santoku 170mm knife.